I'm just gonna say this for Dr. Ash, you know. I have notes on a doc that I'm looking at, and I shared those with you, so you can look at those if you want. All right. This is my mom's iPad.
Can you turn on notifications?
I feel rude doing that because it's not my thing. We'll just hope it doesn't get too interrupted.
Okay.
Okay, so
Your mom's so popular.
it's all for up. So, this presentation is on the meaning of family in the lowland by Sarah and Mila. Okay, so the lowland follows the growth and loss of the Mitra family, starting with the childhood of Subhash and Udayan in India, and ending with the childhood of Meghna in Rhode Island. Through examination of the complex relationships between characters, it becomes obvious that some characters have stronger, more positive relationship with each other, and others have a more negative connection. He's not here. Why am I so stressed? The thesis of this presentation is that the bond between those who choose to be family is stronger than the bond between those who have been thrust together by circumstance. We're going to be examining the characters of Subhash, Gauri, and Bella, and with the 3 points of Gauri's relationships, Subhash's relationships, and Bella's relationships. Okay.
So the first relationship is Gauri's with Udayan and Subhash. The contrast between Gauri's relationships with Udayan and Subhash show that the bond that choosing someone for yourself creates. So Udayan courted Gauri in a way that was similar to Western courting, and he wanted to marry her for love rather than traditional values of the parents selecting your partner. He asked her to do certain things in order to help him, and in order to help her, she agreed to do them, regardless of how she actually felt about it. She did these not because she thought they were right, but because he asked her, and she just wanted to help.
Read the quote, and I have my explanations.
So on page 356, it says, he began to ask her to do certain things, and so in order to help him, in order to feel a part of it, she agreed. She did these because she wanted to or thought that they were right, but simply because he asked. Later, she realized the extent of what she had really done. In contrast, Gauri married Subhash to escape an environment that reminded her of what she had lost. Later in life, Gauri can't forget about Udayan, but remembers parts of Udayan within his brother Subhash, and just feels really guilty about it.
Okay, that's good enough for you. Alright, so the next aspect of this is Gauri's relationships with Bella. So Gauri did not choose to be pregnant, and Udayan never wanted to have a family. She never had a strong bond with Bella. Throughout her childhood, she was rather negligent and seems to constantly ignore her daughter's existence. For example, she shuts the door of her study and tells Bella that she can't come in. Even when she was pregnant with Bella, she viewed her as something forcing her to stay alive instead of that typical mother-daughter bond. An example of her negligence is she left 6-year-old Bella home alone when she went to the store at the corner. Once she realized that Bella would be fine when she left, she started leaving for longer and longer times, going further and further away. She only got caught and stopped doing it when Subhash was really angry with her. Subhash told her, "My mother was right. You don't deserve to be a parent. The privilege was wasted on you," which really shows the kind of disdain that Subhash held for her, because throughout the story, Subhash has been kind of a mellow personality and not really prone to outbursts such as that. And we have another quote from page 190. The tenderness Subhash felt for Bella that was impossible for him to ration or restrict was not the same on Gauri's end. Though she cared for Bella capably, she thought, though she kept her clean, combed, and fed, she seemed distracted. Rarely did Subhash see her smiling when she looked into Bella's face. Rarely did he see Gauri kissing Bella spontaneously. Instead, from the beginning, it was as if she'd reversed their roles, as if Bella were a relative child and not her own. This shows that Gauri isn't happy with Bella, isn't happy being a parent, doesn't have the same connection that Subhash holds with Bella. Gary kind of gave up on her relationship with Bella. She didn't really feel the same sort of love that she thought that mothers should feel for their children. And she said, in spite of all the time, the love she felt for Udayan refuses to reconstitute itself. This shows that she recognized that she didn't have the same kind of love for Bella as she did with Udayan. Bella, she did not choose to have a relationship with, but Udayan she did. So she realizes that her relationship is not the same. She does not feel the same kind of love. When she left later in life to go to California, Gowrie told people that she didn't have any children, which shows how she really severed that connection and tried to separate herself from Bella as much as possible.
So Subhash's relationship with Gowrie had never felt anything for Subhash, but Subhash cared for her and wanted her to be happy and successful. This contributed to the idea that choice creates a stronger bond because Subhash chose to marry Gowrie and try to create a family with her. He said he would come to love her like Udayan did. When she asked to go to a philosophy class, while he originally said no, he rearranged his schedule so that she could. He wanted to give her a fresh start from Despite knowing her for such a short period of time, Subhash offered to marry her and take her with him back to Rhode Island. He didn't like the way that his parents treated her like he didn't even exist. He wanted to give her a fresh start away from all the consequences that Udayan intentionally created for her, such as the police questioning her investigating people she might have known. In comparison, Gowrie feels indifference towards him, and it shows the difference that the choice that choosing your family makes.
We're done?
I think.
Okie. So next we're focusing on Subhash's relationship with Bella. Unlike Gowrie, Subhash made an active choice to be a parent. He was determined to give Bella the father that she deserved. He loved Bella before she was even born, even though she was not his child and he didn't know her mother. He didn't want Bella to grow up in a joyless house with his parents in India. He cared for her so much that he made this decision before he knew her. So this really establishes the strong bond that they have as Bella grows up and as she's an adult. The difference between the care that Gowrie and Subhash feel for Bella is clear throughout the novel. Subhash is always caring for Bella, trying to make sure she has the best self possible, while Gowrie shuts herself away. Their difference in feelings is seen when Gowrie went to her classes for philosophy. She said that Subhash should get a babysitter to watch Bella and that it was a very common thing to do in the United States, but Subhash didn't want to leave Bella alone. He didn't want to leave her with a stranger, so he rearranged his schedule, as mentioned before, so that he could watch Bella on his own, which shows that Gowrie kind of doesn't care as much. She doesn't have that same connection that Subhash does to Bella. Bella says, that was wrong. Gowrie's inner thoughts mention that she thinks about telling Subhash that he's not her real father. She says, she's not your child, she wanted to say, to remind him of the truth, but of course it was not the truth. At Bella's ballet recital a few weeks ago, Gowrie saw the change in her as soon as Subhash, arriving a few minutes late, had taken his place and waved. This shows that, again, Gowrie does not have the same connection with Bella that Subhash does. She also says in her letter, when she leaves to go to California, you are her father, as you pointed out long ago, and as I have long come to accept. You have proven yourself to be a better parent than I. I believe you are a better father than Udayan would have been. Gowrie recognizes at this point how good of a parent Subhash is. Even when she wanted to remind him that Bella wasn't really his daughter, she knew that he was because of that emotional connection that they shared. Subhash's actions and choice to take such good care of Bella proved that he was her father. Because Subhash chose to be a parent, he was ready to play an active part in Bella's life and really care for her. Because he chose her, he felt that strong connection and desire to be her father. This demonstrates how choosing to be a parent is more meaningful than having to be a parent out of necessity, like Gowrie was.
So Bella's relationship with Gary leaving Bella behind shows that when you choose something, but Gary's choice to leave Bella proves that when you choose something, it creates a more powerful bond than when something happens by circumstances. Gary chose to leave Bella vastly changed their relationship. It would have been as Bella. Oh my God, I can't speak. Gary's choice to leave Bella greatly changed their relationship, and it would have been easier for Bella. It would have been easier for the relationship if Gory had died in Bella. Oh my God, I can't speak. It would have been easier for Bella to accept her mom choosing to leave her if Gory had just died, because then there was no choice. There was no choice for Gory to leave her. And so she imagines it like that. She tells people that her mother died and she doesn't have one, because it helps her accept the fact that her mom, Gory, made the choice to leave her. In this quote, Bella told Drew that her mother was dead. It was what she always said to people when people asked. In her imagination, she returned Gory to India, saying she had gone for a visit and contracted an illness. Over the years, Bella had come to believe this herself. She imagined the body being burned under a pile of sticks, ashes floating away. On page 366. So there's another quote is, many people feel that divorce is even worse than death when rejection, betrayal, and shame are added to the loss. This quote from this website shows how I scroll too far. Supports the idea that choosing something is more powerful than it happening by circumstance, and explains why Bella developed such strong hatred feelings towards her mother and why she presented her as dead instead. So when Gory comes back to Rhode Island, Bella continues to show Gory that the choice that she made led to Bella resenting her and choosing to make it, at least in her mind, that her mother was dead.
Alright, and now on to Bella's relationship with Subhash. As a child and as an adult, Bella always knew that Subhash was her father. Even once Bella learns what happened to dying, she still views Subhash as her father because he cared for her. He put all the hours in to be her father. In this quote, she says she'd been lied to all of her life, but the lie refused to accommodate the truth. Her father remained her father, even as he told her he wasn't. So again, that means actions are more important than just the title. So his actions and his choice to be her father is what made her her father in her eyes. In this way, she too makes a choice. She chooses to view him as her real father and not Udayan. She has no connection to Udayan. She never knew him. She never even knew he was a thing other than maybe her uncle that was dead. She recognizes the importance of Subhash's actions for her, his care for her all throughout her childhood. In autumn, on page 333, the author states, in autumn, her daughter was born. After she became a mother, she told Subhash it made her love him even more, knowing what he'd done. Bella recognizes how important she is to Subhash. She recognizes how the choice was meaningful because now she knows how difficult it is to be a parent, and that it must have been, she didn't have exactly as much of a choice, but Subhash could have left her. He could have done nothing and left her with Gowri, but he did choose to be a single parent, and as a single parent herself, Bella recognizes how difficult that is and what a sacrifice he made. This choice solidifies her connection to him. She decides to settle down in Rhode Island with him to start her own family and to continue the strong connection that choices lead to with him and her future family and her daughter.
So Bella's relationship with Magna really contrasts her. Though Magna is introduced at the very end of the novel, it is still clear that she has a better relationship with her mother. Again, this points of the difference between wanting a child or not. So Bella, when Bella has a nickname for Megna, calling her Meglit, which is cute and shows the bond between them. And this contrast. I really had this in my head. And while Bella has no bond with whoever the biological father of Megna is, it contrasts the relationship that Gori had with Udayan, even after he was gone, as she continued to look for things that reminded her of him. And then when she saw him stand at the door, when Gari visits Bella, she notices how she saw Megna standing at the dining table with Bella, seeking approval for the flowers she had chosen. Bella was composed, attentive to her daughter, behaving as if Gari was already gone. Together they were taking old flowers out of a mason jar and replacing them with new ones. So this quote really shows how Bella is there more as a mother with her daughter, and how Bella chose to be Megna's mother, in comparison to where Udayan did not want to be a mother, and she only had Bella for the thought of Udayan. And then, oh shit, this turned off. Another in-text example was when Gori slips up Bella's coat when she was a child outside, but she's so distracted and upset that Bella's almost zips up on her skin, and Bella ends up calling for Subhash to come help her. It shows that Gori wasn't attentive or loving towards Bella. However, Bella pays more attention to Megna, and to the point where she even pretends that no one else is there in the room, and that she solely focuses on Megna. And again, this boils down to choosing to be a parent creates a stronger bond than between parent and child. Bella doesn't. Oh wait, yeah, I already did that.
So, in conclusion, through the course of the novel, Subhash, Gauri, and Bella made decisions that determined who their family is. Subhash made his family with Gauri and Bella, but Gauri chose to leave to escape being trapped with the reminders of Udayan. The decisions they made solidified the bonds between them, whether they are positive or negative. The choice to we can draw from this that the choice to leave and the choice to stay are equally as powerful, but they're then not making a choice at all. So yeah, and the pictures are of the part of India that Subhash and Udayan lived in, and there's a picture of the sunset, which was the sunset at Rhode Island. So yeah, right, the works cited. Yeah, and this website was for like family help. So thank you. Have a nice
break.
Have a nice break.